Hi, my name is Angela Torres, and I'm a mom of three wonderful kids living here in the Bronx in New York. And we've been doing the 100% remote virtual learning, and it's been a challenge. This week, my daughter had issues with submitting her work in Google Classroom. She was trying to put it in, and it wasn't allowing her to submit. And this is really a big concern because then all of a sudden the meltdowns begin. She's upset. She thinks she's going to get a bad grade. I try to help her. I can't help her. And it's just so hard on the whole family. And we try reaching out, of course, to the school. And thankfully, the next day, it worked. So I don't know what happened, but somehow it worked when she was able to submit it. And all was well with the world. But it's really important that these devices work. From what I'm hearing from other families, they still are waiting for their devices. And, they're sharing devices amongst the other kids in the family. And it's really tough, and even the size of the devices. I really feel like the size of the devices should depend on the child, you know. So, for example, if you're writing a paper and you're in older grade, how is it that you're supposed to do that when you have an iPad mini? It's really difficult to be able to do that. And then all of a sudden, kids are doing things like, writing papers by speaking into their phones instead of actually typing it out. So this is an important skill that gets lost. It's hard balancing it. I thankfully am working from home, but it's a bit of a challenge because you want, on the one hand, want to make sure your kids doing their work, and then you have other responsibilities that you have to get done as well. So shout out to all the moms out there and all the dads out there and all the caregivers out there who are doing this. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I want to talk today also about, just a lack of transparency that we've been dealing with the DOE. This week on September 29th, we received a copy of the consent form. Now, for a while now, we've been asking to see what the contents of the consent form would have. And we were told it would be provided on the first day of school and that, don't worry, it's forthcoming. It's forthcoming. And so we waited and waited and we finally got it. And so I started looking at it with a fine tooth comb. And so on the surface, just to give you a little excerpt, it starts out fine. I'm signing this freely and voluntarily. Great. I consent for my child to be tested for COVID-19 infection. Okay. I understand that my child may be tested in multiple times through September 30th, 2021. Okay, wait a minute. First of all, no one told us that this was going to be a whole year contract. Let's start there. So this was something new that really was not clarified before. Then it says, I understand the consent form will, if I refuse to sign it, the child may be required to continue their education via remote learning. So for those of you parents who did not select 100% remote, I want you to realize that what this means is this is a commitment that you have made now, and that if you do not sign this, they say here may, but I've heard also will. So I'm not sure whether it's may or will, but be prepared if you don't sign this. It is very possible that they're going to put your child in 100% remote. And we need to know this. If we're working and we're balancing, we need to know what's up. But I want to bring you to something that's very important. It says, I understand that my child's test results and other information may be disclosed as permitted by law. First of all, it says, my child's test results and other information. So I started thinking, what other information could they possibly want? And who's getting it? So then I go up a little higher to where it says notification of information sharing. And then it lists the different companies that have the information. So New York City Department of Education, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. All of that is fine until I get to contracted service providers for COVID-19 testing. So then I started doing some research to figure out who exactly this is. And it turns out that, some of the names are names that we recognize that normally do testing. But then you get to this one that says Fulgent Genetics. Okay, Fulgent Genetics. And I realized that that company is a genetics company. So wait a minute, when I am signing this and I'm putting all of my information as parent guardian, and I'm putting my child's information, their OSIS number, the date of birth, everything, they also are going to have access to and have a right to hold on to the information for my child. So when they're doing that swab, it's not that they're just doing it for the test, but that genetic information is being held. And the thing is, if you're fine with that, that's fine. But I feel that parents are not aware that that's what they're signing. And so I want to bring that point up this week. It's a great concern to me. I'm not sure how that information is going to be used, what information is going to be stored, and for how long. And so parents, I feel like we need to wake up and really look at everything really carefully, and make sure that we know what we're signing. So that's my tidbit of the week. Hopefully next week, my virtual learning program will be even better. Hopefully we won't have any technology issues, but the verdict is still out with that. So anyhow, thanks so much for tuning in here, and I hope you have a great day.